One of the best insiders, writers covering the NBA is Marc Stein from the New York Times, kind enough to join us. Good morning, Mark. How are you?
I'm good, sir. Apologize in advance for any bonus airport noise you guys get. I'm at DFW getting ready to get on a plane, so bear with me.
Okay. The immediate effect of Kevin Durant's injury on free agency is what?
The immediate effect is actually that we can't tell you the immediate effect. It's so sudden and so jarring that, Durant's got to grieve first. And I know we all want these answers in free agencies. It's June 30th now. It's been moved up 6 hours. It's basically 2 weeks away. But no one still, I don't think there's still anyone beyond Durant and Rich Kleiman, his business manager, who could tell you what he's going to do. And they're not telling us. Now, I think a lot of people believe that the chances of him staying have increased, whether that's by opting in or opting out and getting a long-term deal with the Warriors. But regrettably, it is still more guesswork than people in my line of work would want to admit.
You also have the timing of the NBA Finals, and then the draft is next week. I don't know if the Pelicans want to get a deal for Anthony Davis done prior to the draft. Is that your understanding?
Yeah, they do. They definitely do. I mean, they're pushing hard for it. The Lakers and Celtics are known to be after him. If there's other teams that want to be daring and want to they want to use the Oklahoma City blueprint, and like the Thunder traded for Paul George, or of more relevance using the Toronto blueprint and gambling on Kawhi Leonard, those teams have the opportunity. But, right now it's the Lakers and the Celtics that are the focus, and the Pelicans definitely would love to get a deal done before the draft. Now, will that happen? For the Lakers to make it happen, it's really going to hinge on that number 4 pick. They've got to find someone out there that really likes that number 4 pick and is going to give New Orleans something more appealing than what's currently on the table, because the Lakers by themselves don't have enough to get Anthony Davis. The problem is most draft experts would tell you this is, depending on the eye of the beholder, it's a 2-player draft or a 3-player draft in terms of franchise players, and of course the Lakers have the 4th pick. So how much they can actually fetch for number 4, that remains to be seen.
Who's in a more envious position right now, the Pelicans or the Lakers in this situation?
I like the Pelicans' position. I think they're going to come out of this with a really good team. David Griffin, he's going to trade him eventually, and he's going to get a lot for Anthony Davis. They've still got Drew Holiday, who's one of the most underrated players in this league, one of the most coveted players in this league, one of the best two-way guards in this league. They're bringing in Zion. They've already got Drew Holiday. They're going to get a lot for Anthony Davis. The Pelicans are going to rebound from this horrific season they just endured pretty well. The Lakers, they need to get Anthony Davis because they're not in the free agent game right now for anybody significant. Now, I think their hope is that they pull off the Davis trade, and now, hey, free agents say, wait a minute, LeBron, Anthony Davis, maybe I need to give this maybe I need to give Lakerland another look. But getting Davis is the first domino for the Lakers, the must domino.
He's Marc Stein, New York Times NBA writer, joining us Dan Patrick Show. But I was also looking at this. If I'm the Lakers, and I have a little bit of leverage because I know that Anthony Davis's agent, Rich Paul's already told the Celtics, hey, he's not going to sign a long-term deal with you. Whether that's true or not, but he's already sending the message, look, he's going to eventually get here. We don't have to give up as much as we need to because it feels like Kyle Kuzma is going to be kept in the cupboard here, and they're not going to let him out. I just don't know if you get that. If I'm New Orleans, there's no way I'd take Lonzo Ball, the 4th pick, and Brandon Ingram for Anthony Davis here. Kuzma's got to be involved.
They'll wait. I mean, look, realistically, they have until February. I mean, that's not their preference. They've lived under this Anthony Davis trade cloud since January, and really before that. Mm-hmm. Before Anthony Davis made the trade request, pests like me were asking them about Anthony Davis' future every day. So they've been living with this for nearly a year already. They really don't want to go all the way to February, but they do have that option. And look, there are a lot of people around the league who think that, again, these are opinions, predictions, observations. This is not reported knowledge. I want to underline that, but just a hypothetical. What if a team like Denver just said, you know what, we want to get in the game and gamble. We have a good team. We got a lot of assets. We want to just take a 1-year run at Anthony Davis. So there are teams out there that have the ability to do it if they want to get in and take the risk. And it is conceivable that executives around the league are going to look at what's happened in Toronto and look at what the Raptors did to bring in Kawhi Leonard. And, now everyone in Toronto says they're going to be okay if Kawhi leaves after this. I'm not so sure. Let's actually see that play out. But in the short term, if you're a Raptors fan, you have to be giddy that your team rolled the dice on Kawhi Leonard. They didn't know if they'd have him for more than a season. Don't know if they keep him. Didn't know he was going to be healthy, and look how it's worked out.
And I also look at Durant, and if I'm the Knicks or any of these teams that, bidding for his services, I come out and say to him, look, we'll give you your max deal. You can rehab on our dime here. We're in it long haul here. He
will get it. He's still going to get all the teams that wanted him still want him. But Now look at it from his perspective. This is the worst injury you can have in basketball. History tells us that. There is no injury that basketball players dread more than an Achilles tear. Even if the rehab goes great, and given Durant's work ethic, you expect that it would, it is still a really hard injury to come back from. And on day one, you're not what you were. I'm not going to sit here and say Durant can't be what he's been, but it's probably going to take him more than just the rehab to get back on the floor. Do you want to go to the Knicks, where you're expected to carry a franchise that has been miserable for 2 decades? Or would you rather go back to Golden State and let Steph and Clay and Draymond Green carry the load at the beginning while you're working your way back with an organization and a training staff you already know? I would think, if I'm Durant, that scenario is more appealing. He might be ready to play next season in February. Is he ready to carry a team in February? That's a huge matter of debate.
But, Mark, I was curious about the medical staff with the Warriors. Is he comfortable with them after what just happened here? And do you want them to oversee your rehabbing with this Achilles injury?
Well, and that's, look, I know you said it in your intro because I was listening. I mean, as time will go on, we're going to learn more about this. We don't know all the ins and outs and what happened behind the scenes. Now, if you read Kevin Durant's Instagram post, he said he was out there because he wanted to be out there, because that's what he does. He's a hooper. He wanted to play. I think that's basically him taking at least some measure of responsibility for being out there. Now, if Durant was unhappy with the process that led to him being cleared, we're eventually going to hear that.
Yeah. And
that will surely be cited as a reason if he decides not to go back. But to this point, we have no evidence. We have no evidence that there's dismay there.
Well, I wasn't going to point the finger of blame at anybody until Steve Kerr was asked about this, and he said you have to ask Bob Myers, and then Bob Myers, the GM, says, "Well, if you're going to blame somebody, blame me." Why am I blame? Why are you putting yourself out there to blame? If everybody did their due diligence here, then why are we pointing fingers or need to?
Well, I actually look at it completely different. I thought that's the Warriors trying to do the professional, responsible thing, knowing that this thing is going to be under the microscope like nothing that's happened in these last 5 years for them. And the reason Steve Kerr handed those questions off to Bob was because in the immediate aftermath, they wanted one voice to be speaking for the whole organization.
Okay.
And they decided it was going to be Bob Myers, and Bob Myers went up to the podium and took the questions. I don't know how many GMs would have done that in the aftermath of such a bad injury. So, Kerr addressed it yesterday. It's not like Steve was going to say, I'm never going to discuss this for the rest of my career. I just think in the immediate aftermath on the night it happened, they wanted one guy to basically answer the question.
In 3 weeks, where is Kevin Durant?
Oh, man, I knew you were going to do that. I'm going to say Golden State.
Okay.
Again, I don't know it, but that's my feel.
Yeah, I started to get a sense of him, maybe staying for 1 year, even before the injury, like one more year at Golden State, and getting one more chance for a championship and then leaving after that. But with this, I'm not quite sure, and certainly trust your insights better than mine. In 3 weeks, where's Anthony Davis?
Man, I actually, for some strange reason, even though recent events should give us no confidence to feel this way, I kind of feel like the Lakers are going to find a way to get this trade done. That they're going to find someone who sees enough value in number 4 to give the Pelicans the piece they want beyond, as you said, Ingram and Lonzo Ball. That's not nearly enough for Anthony Davis. They're going to need something beyond that. But I do think the Lakers are going to find a way.
Is LeBron shoppable?
Oh, yeah. Now, they're not. That doesn't mean they're going to, but, teams, of course, would still want him.
No, but what would he be worth if all of a sudden the Lakers said, hey, LeBron's available, make your offers? What's he worth?
I haven't specifically diced it up to give you an exact package, but I would think that they would be able to find a workable trade. But if you're the Lakers and you've been through everything that they've been through over the last 2 years, especially, do you want that on your resume too? We're the team that traded LeBron James. But they got enough issues over there.
But you know what, Mark? I brought this up, and Van Gundy said the same thing. I would shop if I could get younger. If you said I could trade LeBron for Anthony Davis, would you do that if you're the Lakers?
Yeah, I think they. I guess you'd have to know what else was around it. Just straight up, probably not. But look, they've been out of the playoffs 6 years.
Yeah.
Before this drought, they didn't have 6 non-playoff seasons in their whole history. So it's the worst position this franchise has ever been. They have LeBron James. They're not looking to trade him. Their thinking is we're one domino away from being right back in the mix. If they pull the Davis trade off, especially before free agency, that they can now go into free agency and say we've got LeBron and Davis. They're not far away from being right back in the mix. And so, it's too. It was too hard to get LeBron. Trading him is the ultimate last resort.
Safe travels, Mark. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate your time.
Sounds good, guys.
That's Marc Stein, New York Times NBA writer. Worked with him at the Mothership for quite some time.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune into Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV. Stream for free on BR Live or download the Dan Patrick Show app.